Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Spiritual Spotlight series. Today, I'm joined by Megan Mary. She's a dream worker that specializes in the analysis of women's dreams to promote transformative personal growth and enlightenment. She's the founder of the Women's Dream Analysis and the Women's Dream Enlightenment podcast. She's an intuitive, introvert, mystic, and a writer. Thank you so much for coming on the Spiritual Spotlight series. I'm so happy you're here.
Thank you for having me, Rachel.
So, can you maybe start by telling us what dream analysis is and what benefits can people specifically gain from it?
Yes. So, dream analysis at its core is really a form of dream work where we look at the meanings of dreams. And it's like dream interpretation, except I feel that I give a different slant on it because I put a mystical background on it. So, it's a little bit different from the traditional psychoanalytical approach. And I view dreams as a personal growth tool.
Mm.
So it's the way that I feel really helps us access our inner wisdom and use that for self-discovery.
I think that's perfect. I like how you dive in a little bit more than maybe just, oh, what does it mean when I lose my teeth in a dream? Like I like that you're diving in a little bit more. Now you
Yes.
have a method that I've never heard of. It's called the Dream Mirror Method. It sounds mystical and intriguing. Can you maybe break down what it is and how does it assist in dream analysis?
Yes. So I devised this method after a lot of years of research and contemplation and really just dabbling into all the other esoteric and metaphysical things that there are. And for me, it really allows you to arrive at the true meaning of your dream rather than the dream dictionary approach, where you're looking at an A to Z index of different symbols and just looking at one symbol in your dream to try and figure out the meaning. So I have 4 steps, and they're memory, mood, mirror, and metaphor. And in those 4 steps, I give you the tools to be able to start accessing your inner wisdom and learning your dream language from your dreams.
Oh, that's perfect. I love that. I'm like, that's exciting. I love this. Now for maybe someone who's new to this world, can you describe what happens during a typical dream session? What should people expect when they book a one-on-one with you?
Yes. So when I have someone book a dream session, when they do, they submit a dream that they'd like to go over. And on the form, I have them fill it out according to the method with the information that
Mm.
I want to receive. And so one of the first things is the memory, which is step one, basically, which is where I say, okay, tell me your dream in as much detail as possible. And also give it a title as if it were a story. And step two is mood. And that's where I have you record the mood that you had before you went to sleep, the one you experienced, or one or more during the dream, and then whatever you felt when you woke up.
Oh, that's interesting.
And so in that session, then I basically walk you through a series of questions that help you mirror your experience. And it really helps you pull out your subconscious associations into your conscious awareness. And that really is the mirror stage. So, as opposed to a dream dictionary where I say, well, you dreamt of an owl, so that means this, and it means that for everybody, I try and say, well, what does an owl mean for you? And what are your
Yeah.
life experiences and associations with that? So that we really get to your personal language.
Yeah.
And the last step is metaphor. And that's where we look at the whole dream and everything that you've discovered as a metaphor for your waking life. And in the dream session, I also usually do an oracle card reading. And then in the dream journey, it's a series of 4 sessions where in between I provide you with what I call dream integration guidance, which
Mhm.
is different healing modalities that have worked for me in my healing journey that help you integrate what you're learning from your dream language.
Oh, that's perfect. So we've heard the concept of dream journals, but you also talk about dream journeys, like you just said. Can you maybe elaborate on what that concept is?
Yeah, so a dream journey can address a very specific goal or issue. So I have ones for example, recurring dreams as
Mm.
well as nightmares. And those really help you look at those specific types of dreams and what your subconscious is trying to tell you by delivering those types of dreams and what that experience, what you can learn from having that experience. I also have the crossroads dream journey, which is for transitional periods in your life, as well as one that I call the treasure box. And that's where you learn about lucid dreaming and dream incubation or manifestation and all the creative possibilities that the dream world holds.
So let me ask you this question. If you like someone like myself, I don't really remember my dreams. I get like bits and pieces, but I like this idea of lucid dreaming and a treasure box. If somebody maybe like myself who's not really keyed into my dreams probably as much as I should, is that something that you can also help with?
Yes. So I have a self-paced online course that is on dream decoding. And the first part is really about dream recall techniques
Oh,
and
nice.
how people can start to enhance their dream recall, raise their spiritual awareness, and become aware of the different brainwave states that we exist in and how they're similar in such as meditation states are very similar to dreamlike states.
Mm.
And just techniques that help you quiet the mind as well as be more observing in your daily life that can help you tune in.
Yeah. I love that. It's interesting. I have like one dream from my childhood that's stuck with me my entire life. And I feel like going through your process with you would help me uncover like what is a deeper meaning within that dream. Like I just
Yes.
that's so interesting.
Yes.
So your journey is very inspiring. After being diagnosed with three chronic illnesses, you had a spiritual awakening. Could you maybe share how this personal experience led you to focus specifically on dream work for your clients?
Hmm. Yeah. So, what growing up, I'd always been fascinated by dreams, and I'd had nightmares, recurring nightmares, as well as recurring wonderful flying dreams. And I was really just fascinated with dreams, the dream world, wondering why we spent so much time there, what was the purpose of it, and also with all sorts of things that were unseen, that
Mm.
were mysterious or magical or mystical in nature. And as I got older, I think I started to, even though I was still very interested in those things, I started to listen less and less to my intuition and
Mm.
to my dreams. And it wasn't until I became very ill that I had to really say, okay, I got to do some inner work here and I got to really dive deep in because a lot of, I realized that to get well, it's not just the body
Mm.
and that it's the mind and spirit as well. And that all those things have to work together and that you can create disease in the body by a lot of different emotional situations. And so I started really doing a lot of deep inner work. And when I started doing that, I started getting a lot of direct guidance saying this is what you're supposed to be doing and this is also how you are going to heal, and that really called to share it to help other people.
I think that's phenomenal. And the fact that you really leaned into it, you trusted that intuitive sense, and now you're helping to heal so many other people. Like that's phenomenal. That's amazing.
Yeah,
I'm like,
it wasn't easy.
oh, 100%. I mean, I'm not trying to diminish any
No,
work
yeah.
anyone's done, but it's just like it's amazing how some people kind of ignore their intuitive senses and they just keep
Yeah.
trucking along. And then I like the fact that you're like, look, this isn't working for me. I don't feel well. I'm head up against a wall. And then you turn towards more of your spiritual sense and went
Yes.
within. And that's phenomenal. I think
Yes.
we kind of get lost in our minutia of day-to-day work.
Very much so. And I also feel like a lot of times women in particular feel the call and feel the hint and see the empty space, but they don't know how to integrate it
Yeah.
into their existing life.
Totally agree, which is going to lead me to my next question. So, there's a lot of buzz about self care everywhere these days, from spa days to mindfulness practices. Why would we say dream work is the ultimate form of self care?
Yes, I think for that is really what I say, that it is the ultimate in self-care for women. And I feel it can benefit everyone, but of course I work exclusively with women because
Yeah.
I feel like there's so many aspects about our bodies that affect our dreams. And so when our hormones fluctuate throughout the month, that can really affect our dreams as well as our dream recall. And that there's so much about our lives that divorce us from our intuitive natures. And so for me, it really is that internal piece of guidance that so many people feel they're missing. And they know that something's missing, but they just don't know where to find it. And they always end up looking outside of themselves
Mm.
and not realizing that there's all of this information coming through every night that is meant just for you because it's coming from you. It's just a part that you might not be accustomed to listening to.
I love sleeping. But now I need to add in the layer of, actually doing some work with dream recall and really dream analysis. And I think that's phenomenal. I'm like, I love sleeping. My favorite thing to
Yes.
do. Um, so
Yes.
I'm sorry, that's silly, but I really do love sleeping.
No,
Um,
yes.
so let
I
me ask
don't.
you this. Many of our listeners are creators in various fields. Can you maybe speak to how dreams can actually serve as a catalyst for creativity?
Yes, yes, and I don't get enough sleep, actually, I think.
I,
Um,
I would agree with you, my friend.
yes,
If I could
yes,
sleep all day, I would.
yes. Um, I definitely feel I'm also, as a writer myself, I feel that there is such potential in our dreams for creativity. And
Mm,
over centuries, inventors and musicians and poets and so many have shown this to be true. But it's something that our modern society would do well to be reminded about because there is so much potential in our subconscious for creativity.
mm,
And the dreams themselves are just incredibly creative stories, I feel. And I also feel that they're parables. So they actually have a lesson to teach us. But I'm currently working on a novel, and the novel was inspired by a dream. And so many movies and works of art have been inspired by dreams. So it's something that I want to encourage everyone to start to incorporate into their life. And Montague Ullman called it dream appreciation. And I feel like that's really the first step, is just saying,
mm.
okay, these aren't silly, nonsensical things that I can do without. These are important things. And there's actually a lot of benefit to paying attention to it. And there's a lot for us there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and someone like yourself, like you're intuitive, and a lot of the listeners, they're very intuitive. And I think like one of our psychic senses is to dive into dream time. And because I do feel like our guides and our team and our subconscious is trying to deliver us messages all the time, and that might be a medium that maybe you're actually receptive to is when you're sleeping.
Yes, very much so. And also in that liminal state, in that state in between waking and dreaming, I feel is a really important place too. And there's been a lot of inventors that have actually tried to capture that space specifically for that inspiration.
Oh, that's phenomenal. I love that. So let me ask you this. So nightmares can be unsettling, to say the least. What guidance can you offer women on how to overcome them or maybe even derive meaning from them?
Yes. So nightmares are so profound and stay with us for so long because of the emotional aspect. And that's because when we dream, our logical mind is turned off, but our emotional mind is turned on. And it's the same processing in the same way as when we're awake. So we experience it as if it really is happening. And recurring dreams, as well as nightmares, are really delivering a profound, impactful story to us that
Mm,
they want, they, us, our guides, our higher self want us to acknowledge. And so taking apart the dream and looking at all the different parts can help to decode what's actually happening in the dream. And while it's important to recognize the emotions as the underlying meaning, it's also helpful sometimes to just take it apart
mm,
and look at the metaphor of it. And that I found can be extremely healing, as well as waking visualizations or lucid dreaming applications of reimagining those upsetting dreams. So having a visualization where you're back into that scenario that you dreamt that was upsetting, but then you imagine an alternative ending, or finding yourself in that same scenario again and being able to attain the state of lucidity to change the course of the dream.
That's really powerful advice. I'm sitting here, I'm like thinking about a dream. I'm like, I wish I like that. I like that. So
Yes.
before I ask you the last question, I know that you offer a free discovery call, you have a free journal, you have online courses, you have a podcast. Tell us everything all about
Yes.
you and where can we access all of those amazing things?
Yes. So start at womensdreamanalysis.com. And there you will be able to schedule a free discovery call with me. I also have virtual dream sessions, as well as the series of sessions, which are dream journeys.
Mm.
And I also have online courses that are self-paced that allow you to go through the steps of enhancing your dream recall, learning the steps of the method, using some exercises to try and get you to just start keeping your dream journal and learning how to work with the method. And then I have my podcast, Women's Dream Enlightenment. On that podcast, I have women come on and I interpret their dreams
Wow.
live. I also have women come on and share their stories of spiritual awakening.
Nice.
And then I have a lot of all of those women who have just been integral in my healing journey come into my Women's Dream Collective, which I've created, which is an online community where I have monthly dream circles and monthly networking circles. And I invite all of my former podcast guests to come on there and have it be a place where like minded women can seek, share, and support each other on their journeys.
I love that you offer so many different facets of, education and resources for women to really dive deep into this dream analysis. Like that's phenomenal that you have all these resources. Now for your podcast, is that on all podcast platforms, Spotify?
Yes, it
Oh,
is.
perfect. Do
Yeah,
you also have
everywhere.
a YouTube by any chance?
I do.
Oh,
Yes.
perfect. Awesome. And then what's the name of your YouTube channel?
It's at
Same
Women's
thing?
Dream Analysis as
Okay.
well. Yeah.
You're like, it's
Yeah.
everywhere, Rachel. I love
Yes.
that. So let me ask you this. So you're living the dream in Idaho with a rock star drummer husband and two adorable cats. Does your
Yes.
home environment play a role into your dream work? And how do you balance the mystical and the mundane?
Yes. I think I try to incorporate my intuition as much as possible in my daily routine. So I try to provide a quiet space for myself in the morning to both reflect upon my dream as well as meditate. Because when I don't do that in the morning, I feel really destabilized and just start to become overwhelmed easily if I don't create that grounding, that quiet space. And sometimes I have to do it multiple times throughout the day just to keep that space. Um, so I think it's important to always have those whatever those modalities are for you. For some
Yeah.
people it's movement, for some it's exercise, for some it's quiet time. But I think that's what is most important in finding that balance, because the rest of the day is so busy and so crazy and there's so many distractions that it's really that quiet moment in the morning. Even if you don't get time once you get up, create that space when you first awaken, but you're still in bed, to have those quiet moments where you're thinking about maybe what you were just dreaming about instead of thinking about your day.
That is really amazing advice, Megan. I just want to thank you so, so much for coming on the Spiritual Spotlight series. I definitely look forward to speaking with you again soon.
Thank you so much.